Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Sacred Priestess podcast, where I help beautiful awakening women activate their sacred feminine power so that they can find confidence, connection, and clarity in their spiritual healing journey. This week for the podcast, it is May's Divine Feminine Collective Reading. And for this, I bring forward the goddesses. I use my Sacred Priestess oracle cards of my own design that the goddesses have channeled through. So in this reading, we just find out about the current energy rising within the Divine Feminine Collective. We have a look at what we're letting go of, what we're reclaiming, what we're really ready to bring into the world. It's a fun reading. It's for the month of May. If you would love your own personal reading with the goddesses, where we also do some clearing and healing, I will put the link to my private one-on-one sessions below. And enjoy this reading and I'll see you again next week. So firstly, let's have a look at the current energy within the Divine Feminine. Self-love with Goddess Aphrodite. So this month is all about going deeper into that self-love. You may have some things coming up around that. So as well, I mean, we are going to go into what's being brought to light, what's being letting go of, but I do feel like things around self-love, I feel like at the moment, and this is something that I talked about on Tuesday in my podcast, is that, we can, as we step into this and as we activate more of our sacred feminine, as we step into our divine feminine, we start finding more self-love. And as we do that, the things that we used to tolerate, we can no longer tolerate. So we find it really physically uncomfortable when our boundaries are being crossed, really physically uncomfortable when we're not speaking our truth or speaking up. And this is part of that self-love energy that's stepping forward. So really embrace that, really work with that. Make sure you're really listening to your body, listening to your emotions, sitting with your emotions, and just really loving on everything that you are. I feel like that's what's coming up, like just going, like remembering and reminding yourself that you are just this beautiful, divine, spiritual human being who is just made of nothing but love and compassion and empathy. And, my favorite sort of affirmation, I deserve because I am. And I think that's something that is really coming to the surface in all of us collectively at the moment, just really tapping into that space. So that's a beautiful thing that's coming forward for me. So next, what is sort of rising up within the collective? Support. And sorry, I'll show it to you. This is with Mary Magdalene. So I feel like, though, what's rising within you is the need for support within community, and that we're all starting to really band together and come together, and we're sort of like weaving this energy. I always talk about the fact that as we step up, we're weaving this lattice work around the globe as we all step together. But I feel like we're starting to create some form of vortex. Like I feel a swirling of energy. And the more that we come into sisterhood with each other, the stronger that gets, the stronger it holds. But we're also really starting to understand the support that we have around us from Mary Magdalene, from the goddesses, from Aphrodite. The dragons are really, really coming forward at the moment. I mean, they have been very prevalent probably over about the last year, but their just energy keeps getting stronger and stronger. And the dragon mothers are really supporting us in what we're doing right now, and the dragon energy in general. So if you're feeling that coming up, it's that rising within you that is really understanding that you do have support from other realms, that we are, as we are rising, being supported by our galactic friends, the sisters of the Pleiades. So keep holding on to that, keep connecting with beautiful beings as well as your sisters, here in the 3D. Reach out to people, get on the socials, and if you're really liking somebody's stuff or somebody comments in something that you really love, then say wow, like, thank you for this comment, it really helped me, or give it a love heart or whatever, so that everyone feels seen and heard, and just that real support lattice work that's going to help keep the divine feminine as it rises in that really strong container. That's another beautiful card too. So for May, what shadows are being brought to light within the collective creation? So this is the understanding that women are creators. We have been for a very long time the suppression of the goddess, right from the beginning of time. We always talk about God and the masculine and the goddess, who is actually the creator. Okay, as above so below. It is women who create, it is women who birth. And I'm not just talking creation of life and the allowance of souls to come down to this earth to do what they're here to do. We are amazing manifestors. We have amazing ideas. And for so many centuries, and yes, it has gotten better, but, there are still so many of us that have that programming of women aren't smart enough, women don't know enough, women, we're not here for that. And so I feel like a lot of that shadow of us as creators and as the divine feminine as a creator, Christ Sophia, Goddess Sophia as the creator, a lot of that true her story is actually coming out of the shadows and being remembered by us, being remembered right down to the core of our beautiful sacred womb. All of that is really being activated into that understanding that we can do, be, have anything, that we are amazing creators, that we are powerful creator beings, and not just us in the 3D here as we walk our lifetime on earth, but the feminine energy as a creator, as a goddess within the cosmos. So that's something that's really coming forward. And that's a lot of pushback's going to come from that within the collective, like on the world stage, because of, that balance of divine masculine and divine feminine and, the patriarchy and all of that. So as we're doing that and as we're going through this remembrance, of course, there's going to be a lot of pushback, a lot of upheaval, a lot of collective anger. I've been watching the Mayfair Witches, and the rage that came up in me watching that, from witch wounding and persecution wounding, and wounding from being a priestess in a mystery school and having them burned down and having scripture burned and all of those things. Like, just the rage that came up from that. We're doing a lot of that collective release at the moment, amongst the fact that we are powerful creative beings. Okay, so next is what is being let go of. Expansion with Asterope. So what is being let go of? So what is being let go of is the fact that, again, just going along with this creation, we don't quite realize what we're capable of, and May is a really great time for stepping into expansion and possibility. So understanding that anything that we want, anything we want to create, anything we want to do within our lives, the goals we have, the dreams we have, that is really possible for us. As long as we're in that expansive, possibility driven energy. So that's something that's going to be coming forward, but that comes along with self-love, right? That comes along with understanding that you have support around you and having that support around you in this realm and others. That's what comes from stepping into your creation. You get into that energy of expansion and possibility, and that really at the end of the day, everything that we want is in that quantum field. And when we're in alignment, when we are standing in that, we can just reach out and grab it. And that's something that's really coming forward this month. The possibilities that we have, for ourselves and for our lives. So what are we reclaiming? We are reclaiming truth, you guys. The truth of her story, the truth around the divine feminine, the sacred feminine, around womb wisdom, around the teachings of the rose, around, Mary Magdalene and her story, around, the story of the feminine as a creator being, as a powerful being. So we are reclaiming our truth, both collectively and individually. And this is what I was saying earlier, as we start stepping into our sacred feminine power, as we start, reclaiming our self-love and our self-worth, standing in our truth. If we're not standing in our truth, it gets really, really uncomfortable. It gets really, really hard to not be in that, and it just feels really icky within your energy. You get cranky, you get annoyed and tired and depressed and all the things. Like, it gets so much harder with every step that you take deeper into this work and into this journey. And so we are reclaiming truth around, what was brought into religion, what the truth of our connection to galactics, the truth around our connection to spirit, the truth around our connection to the earth, all of the things that have been stripped away through the suppression of the priestess, the suppression of priestess teachings, the suppression of the true Christian teachings that Yeshua and Mary brought forward. All of this truth is going to be coming out more and more. And we need to be in a space where we are starting to speak that, and where we are starting to acknowledge that and challenge that within the collective, to start really bringing that forward. So yeah, we are reclaiming our truth. So if you feel that in your throat, if you feel that within your womb, that you're ready to just start and claiming your truth of who you really are, and your truth of your wants, your needs, your goals, your dreams, what it is that you want from life, the things that you believe, right? So that's all really, I feel that really strongly, especially around beliefs. That's what it's funny. I was thinking this the other day, and sorry to go off on a little bit of a tangent, but it's related. The other day, how, when it comes to this work and this spiritual work and dragons and, the divine feminine and believing in being able to speak to crossed over loved ones, all of these things, we label it as woo, and it's, I kind of, believe in this or whatever, or, we kind of make light of it. But nobody who's Catholic or Christian stands there and goes, it's just I kind of believe in God, but it's just a bit woo. Like, nobody does that. They own it. And it's time for us to start owning the sacred feminine, owning womb wisdom, owning the teachings of Sophia, of the Rose, of the Hathor, Isis lineage, and owning that not as something that's woo, but something that is super sacred and that is deep within our DNA, like our cosmic connections, galactic connections, the truth. This is going back to truth too, the truth of who we are as beings on this planet, of how we are here, how we truly were seeded here on this planet, and what this planet is here for and here to do, and what it's a part of, these holy wars. So all of that's beautifully coming forward. So lastly, for this beautiful divine collective reading for the feminine, what are we bringing through to the world? Oh, my least favorite thing, patience. So a lot of patience coming forward this month. And I think because there's with the awakening and with the rise of the divine feminine, like, it's on quite a fast trajectory. And so I think we can all sort of feel this energy, but we need to also have patience within how that's actually showing up in the 3D. So it's like the energy underneath in the other realms and the other, the etheric spaces, and the energy that's being brought forward from Venus and from that, that rose coding, from what's happening in the galactic space, what's happening within the dragon mothers, how the ley lines are happening, what's happening with different stargates and portals. That there's a lot of undercurrent of this sort of energy that feels like we're actually starting to gain a lot of traction and things are moving really fast. However, within the 3D, it doesn't come forward as quickly. And so we need to take a breath and feel into that energy and understand. And it's sort of like this, I mean, we all feel that chaotic energy, right? Especially when we look out, when we get stuck in a wormhole of the Instagrams and the YouTubes and all the things that are going on in the world, we can get sort of caught up in that thing. And so it's just allowing ourselves to take a breath and be just still in the eye of the storm, and just, anchor in a little bit of patience and understanding that, we've still got a long way to go. This isn't going to be over in the next, few months or whatever. We still have years of not complete upheaval, but still years of moving, through what needs to be moved through in order to get to where it is that new earth is coming in, and what's happening. So we do need a little bit of patience with what's going on in the world, and patience with other people. I think as we step into this work, sometimes it's really easy to get frustrated at the things that you see and the things that some people are saying. And, so it's just that remembrance to take a breath and remember that everyone's on their own journey and everyone's doing the best they can with what they've got. And, you just need to be that guiding light, that shining light, stand in your truth, keep allowing that self-love, that energy of self-love to surface. Keep allowing yourself to tap into your womb wisdom, to do the work, to set a devotional path towards, the divine feminine and towards bringing that balance back. So there we go. There's a beautiful divine feminine collective reading for the month of May. If you have any questions, let me know wherever you are and whichever platform you are watching this on. Also, don't forget to push follow or subscribe if you are watching this on any of those channels. If you're in the Facebook group, hello, you can just DM me. And if you're in the Facebook group, also if you would like your own personal reading with these beautiful goddesses, you can book that too. I'll put the links to those below so that you can book in a reading. We do a reading like this with the goddesses, and then I also do channel through one of the goddesses, and we do a clearing and activation with the goddesses. So have a wonderful month of May. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.